Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Podcast, brought to you by Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Visit telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. Now, here's your hosts.
So we got a bunch of comments after our last episode asking the scary version of this question. Okay, fine, I protected my muscle, but what happens when I stop the medication? Do I just gain everything back overnight? And honestly, that fear keeps a lot of people up at night.
It does, and it's one of the most searched things about these medications, for good reason. So today we're tackling it head on. What actually happens when you stop a GLP-1, what the science really shows about weight regain, and the myths that make it sound scarier and more hopeless than it is.
And the usual important note up top, this is educational, not medical advice. We are absolutely not telling anyone to stop, or change a medication. Those are decisions for you and your doctor. We're here to explain what the research says so you can have a smarter conversation.
Perfectly said. So let's start with the number that scares people, because it is real. In the clinical trials, when people stopped these medications, they regained a large chunk of the weight, often around 2/3 of what they'd lost, usually within about a year.
Okay, so the fear isn't made up. 2/3 coming back is a lot.
It's not made up, and I don't want to sugarcoat it, but here's where the myths start, and the first one is the big one. The idea that you gain it all back instantly, like a switch flips the day you stop. That is not what the data shows. The regain is gradual. It happens over months, not overnight.
And there's a really interesting wrinkle in the newer research about the shape of that regain, right?
Yeah, this part I found genuinely reassuring. When researchers model the trajectory, the regain slows down over time and tends to plateau below where you started. So even a year out, a lot of people are still better off than their pre-medication weight. It is not a full reset to square one.
That's a totally different feeling than all my progress just evaporates.
Completely different, and real-world data makes it even less dramatic. One of the largest real-world studies out of a major clinic found that many people actually stabilized their weight after stopping, especially when they leaned on other support and lifestyle strategies. The scary trial numbers are the worst case, not the only case.
Let's hit myth number 2, because I think this one does the most emotional damage. If I regain weight, it means I failed. I just didn't have the willpower.
This is the myth I most want to demolish. Regain is not a character flaw. It's biology. Your body has what researchers call a set point, and it defends it. These medications work by quieting appetite and changing how your body handles hunger and fullness. When you remove them, those hunger signals come roaring back because the underlying biology never actually left.
So the medication was managing a condition, not curing it.
Exactly. And that's the reframe that changes everything. Doctors increasingly treat obesity as a chronic, relapsing condition, more like high blood pressure than a temporary diet. Nobody says you failed at your blood pressure medication when your numbers climb after you stop taking it. The medication was doing a job, and the job stops when the medication does.
That reframe honestly takes so much shame out of it.
And shame is the real enemy here, because shame makes people hide from the scale, avoid.
Today's episode is brought to you by Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Visit telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. Now back to the show.
Your doctor and spiral. The truth is so much kinder. Your biology is doing exactly what biology does, and there are real strategies to work with it.
Okay, that's the perfect pivot to myth number 3, that there's nothing you can do, that regain is just inevitable and you're powerless. Not true.
Not true at all. Now, I'll be honest about the science. The research on exactly how to prevent regain is still catching up, and there's no single official protocol yet. But there is a clear framework, and it starts with a big decision that is 100% a conversation with your doctor.
Which is whether to stop at all.
Right. For a lot of people, the most evidence-based path is simply staying on some form of long-term treatment because you treat a chronic condition long-term. Others work with their doctor to gradually step down while leaning hard on lifestyle. The point is, there are options, and the worst move is quietly quitting with no plan.
And then there are the habits that carry the weight, no pun intended, no matter what you decide about the medication itself.
These are the anchors. First, keep the behaviors that worked while you were on it. The protein at every meal, the resistance training we talked about last episode, that's not just for muscle. It protects your metabolism, which directly fights regain. And remember, when weight does come back, it tends to come back as fat, not muscle. So protecting muscle really matters here.
Second anchor?
Consistent awareness. This is the one people skip because it feels scary. Some kind of regular check-in, whether that's the scale, how your clothes fit, or another marker you trust. The idea isn't to obsess over a number. It's that catching a small upward drift early is 1,000 times easier than discovering it months later. Your data is a friend, not a judge.
And the rest of the foundation? Sleep, stress, movement?
All of it. Sleep and stress both quietly drive appetite and regain, so they aren't side notes, they're part of the plan. None of this is glamorous, but together it genuinely bends the curve.
This feels like the exact moment for our sponsor, because this is literally what they do.
It really is. Today's episode is supported by Telehealth Effects, and this is a paid sponsorship. Telehealth Effects is a medically guided weight loss service, and everything we just described, the ongoing decisions, the check-ins, the long-term plan, that is the whole reason guided matters. This isn't something you're supposed to figure out alone in the dark. The research keeps pointing to the same gap, that people do best with structured, ongoing support, instead of being left to navigate it solo.
So if you want to learn more about medically guided weight loss and how that kind of long-term support can help you reach and keep your goals, you can visit telehealthfx.com. Again, that's telehealthfx.com.
All right, let's land the 3 takeaways.
Takeaway 1. Regain after stopping is common, but it's gradual. It tends to plateau below where you started, and the real world is often gentler than the scary trial headlines.
Takeaway 2. Regain is biology, not a willpower failure. Your body defends a set point, and obesity behaves like a chronic condition, so there is zero shame in needing ongoing support.
Takeaway 3. You are not powerless. The stay on, taper, or stop decision belongs with your doctor, and the anchor habits, protein, resistance training, and consistent awareness genuinely change your trajectory.
And your one action step for this week. Pick one consistent check-in you'll actually do. The scale, your clothes, whatever you trust, and lock in your 2 anchors from last episode. Protein at every meal and 2 short resistance sessions. And if stopping or changing your medication is even on your mind, put Talk to My Provider on the calendar before you change anything.
That's the whole game. A plan beats a panic every single time.
If this took some fear off your holders, share it with someone who's been quietly terrified of this exact question. And tell us in the comments, are you planning to stay on long-term or taper off eventually? We really want to hear it.
Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And as always, talk to your doctor about your own situation. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to visit our sponsor, Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Go to telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. See you next time.